Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jeremy. I'm a firefighter in Eastern Virginia. I've been in the fire service. Next month will be 9 years. I've enjoyed it immensely, but it has come at a cost. I have PTSD, as well as anxiety and depression. Prior to being in the fire service, I was a medic in the Army. I was assigned to a highly deployed infantry unit, and I saw all the horrible things that conflict can throw at you. I had no medical experience prior to joining the Army, so like I was told when I first put boots on the ground, I was being baptized in fire, and that was an understatement. But I didn't know any better, so I just rolled with it. And in 2004, I was diagnosed with PTSD after I started noticing that I was having issues with my sleeping. That's how it first presented itself. But I shrugged it off. I shrugged off everything. Shortly after that, I started having anxiety, started having issues with depression, but I wrote it all off. I didn't think anything of it. I just tried to suck it up and deal with it. I mean, that's kind of what, everybody trains everybody to do, is suck it up, move on. But I just kept letting it roll. And before long, I found myself in a pretty dark place. I had contemplated on more than one occasion killing myself. And when you get to that point in your life, you really step back and evaluate, what's going on in your life. What's led you to that point. The point where not being alive is better than dealing with the depression, the anxiety, all the stuff that comes with PTSD and all these other mental health issues. I had people who, they, even when I was realizing that I was having these symptoms, people would say, you just got to deal with it. You got to figure it out. You got to whatever. And that's not a healthy way to acknowledge, that there's something wrong. Because everybody will, when people have mental health issues, they're going to find themselves, going into a hole, and, for me, the bottom of my hole may be deeper than the next guy's. It may be shallower, but we can't compare my depression to the next guy's depression to the next guy's depression. It's all different. So we can't shame anybody or shrug off when they say, I think there's something wrong. We can't do that. We have to accept it for what it is and embrace the fact that they are looking for help. If we say, you'll be all right, all that's doing is pushing them away. And that is not an acceptable solution. That is not how we should be doing this. We preach day in and day out, brotherhood, brotherhood, brotherhood. And when one of us says, I have a problem, we're like, you'll be all right, whatever. There's no brotherhood there. We're just pushing it off. So we need to start looking out for each other. For me, just acknowledging and saying, I have a problem, there's something wrong, and looking for solutions, it started to help me climb out of that hole. I tried drugs. I tried prescription drugs. I tried counseling. I tried meditation. And, they all had their pros and cons. It's really about what works best for you. Because for every person who has a particular set of issues, there's going to be there's going to be the same amount of potential solutions. So you can't say there's a magic bullet or there's a cure-all or, that there's one proven way to fix it, because there's not. But the most important thing, you can't get to any of that stuff until you acknowledge that there's a problem. Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to get any help at all. So acknowledging that there's a problem is step one. Step two is for everyone around that person. Like for me, was they took me seriously. They said, okay, what can I do to help you? What do you need? And that's when I started, for me, I started going to the VA and tried a bunch of stuff. Some things worked, some things didn't. And I see, like, for me personally, physical activity is the thing that helps me the most. And I see there's a lot of firefighters out there, as well as military people, that turn to physical activity the same way. Me particularly, I chose rucking. I started doing that when I was in the Army, and I carried that in the PT, with me when I got out. And it's helped me out a lot. Really putting in serious effort. And it's just, all it is a backpack with a little bit of weight in it, and I go for a walk. And they usually last a couple hours, but I've been trying to get other friends, other firefighters, police officers, military, whether they're still in or they're veterans, to go out with me. Because when you're out there for any amount of time, you're going to start talking. And when you start talking, sometimes you really get into some serious stuff, and that's where some healing can happen. You start talking, and sometimes you even find out, like for me, hey, I've been having trouble sleeping. And the buddy that's with me says, man, so have I. And boom, right there's a connection. And you guys can start talking about, well, what have you tried? What didn't work? What did work? That's what we need to do. We need to come together. We need to be more social. We need to be more vocal. Because it's not going to go away. These symptoms, these issues we're having, they're not going away. The call volumes across the country are only going up. We're never going to have fewer calls. We're only going to have more. So issues with mental health are only going to become more prevalent. So we need to address this now and start looking for potential solutions and have, a whole laundry list of things that we can recommend to people. Because, like I said, there's no one thing. There's no silver bullet. But if somebody says, I'm having problems, I think I need to get some help, we can say, these are the places you can go. These are the people you can talk to. These are the things that you can try and see if any of them help. And really engage each other. Not just, hey, here's my phone number, call me up. We really need to talk to each other. We really need to engage each other and make this a real issue. We need to make this as real as any of our training, as real as anything else we do. Because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to carry that weight. Nobody else is going to carry those burdens for you. So we have to take it upon ourselves to take it, one, seriously individually and seriously as a group. So I hope that this is the beginning of something really great. I hope that we move forward from here, and I'm really excited to see something like this gaining traction. So to all my brothers and sisters out there, keep your heads up. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Just remember that the good days are around the corner, so don't give up. All right? Keep fighting.